Welcome to another video from Broken by the Law, Saved by Grace. Today I want to add on to the prosperity video that I put up just the other day. That was really a short video. It was actually a little excerpt from a longer video that I was doing. On that video, we'll be discussing why don't people want anything to do with the church. I think it's really good, so keep your eye out for that. So let's get into this. The prosperity gospel. Just want to add on to what I've really already said in that other little minute-long video, or minute and something, whatever it was. I just want to add some stuff to that, because look, this is very, very important to us as true Christians. We should know a lot about this, and not only that, more importantly, we should be shouting this down. We should be shouting it from the rooftops that this is not right. This is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. This is no gospel. This is a lie, is what this is. So the prosperity gospel is really, it's like a business model, and that's the way these churches run. They run them like businesses. It's all about what can it give me. It's very materialistic. It's selfish, which I believe is the appeal that it has to draw, because look, natural man in his natural state, we are selfish people. Especially in our lost state. Even after we become true believers, even after we become born again, selfishness, pride, those things like that, those inner parts of us are really hard to break out of. Now we can through Jesus Christ. We can overcome, we can break out of those things, but they are some of the harder things to change once we become a Christian. Look, your Christian standing, okay, does not depend on what type of car you drive, how big your house is, how much money you have in the bank, your job title. Your Christian identity and standing does not have anything to do with those things. Our Christian identity is solely in Jesus Christ and his finished work on the cross. That is it. That's our identity. Everything we are is in him. It's not in money. It's not in cars. It's not in a job. It's not in a spouse. It is solely in Jesus Christ. So look, we cannot run a church like a business. And not only that, but who is running this thing? Who do we really think is pushing this? Who is the great counterfeiter? Probably the best counterfeiter there is. And that would be Satan himself, the devil himself. He is running this false gospel. Look, as well as every other false belief system that's in the world today. The devil is behind all of this. He wants to counterfeit Jesus Christ and God and what they've done. And look, there's no point in counterfeiting anything if you can't do a good job of counterfeiting. What would be the point? Nobody will believe it. Nobody will buy it. So look, some of this stuff is so good that is very easy to deceive. Okay, and it has a little bit of the truth wrapped up in it. Very little, might I add, very little, but enough to just entice you in, just like Adam and Eve in the garden, just like the devil did with Eve. It was just enough truth to entice her to take a bite out of that apple and cause the whole fall of mankind. And then Adam right behind her did the same thing. So look, it just takes a little bit of truth to entice you in to believe the bigger lie behind it all. And that's what this is all about. Look, this is not Christianity, nor is it Christian people pushing it. They cannot be Christians. There's no way that you can stand up there and preach this false gospel, all of these lies, rob, steal, cheat, and lie, and be a Christian. There's no way. So don't look at these so-called preachers as like they're preachers of the gospel, because they're not. Like I said earlier, where are the true believers? We're the ones that should be shouting from the rooftops that this is wrong, that this is not the gospel of Jesus Christ. Whew. Come on, people. That's what we should be doing. We should be doing it. The second point I want to make about this too is this: appealing to people on what they want to get them saved. If this prosperity gospel is true, if it's the true gospel or a true gospel, which there's only one gospel, then the Bible is wrong. The Bible is wrong. And we know, I know, and I hope every other true believing Christian out there knows that the Bible is not wrong. It is the inerrant Word of God, infallible Word of God. So look, why does the Bible say in Matthew 19:24 that it is easier for a camel to fit through the eye of a needle than it will be for a rich man to enter into the kingdom of heaven? Why does the Bible say that? Because here it is. The rich man doesn't even think he needs God. He's got everything he wants in his life. He's got all the money in his bank. He's got all the big house, the cars. He's got everything he wants. He can't even see his own need. So look, we're going to watch a little short clip of a video that I got John Piper. Basically what he's talking about in his video is you cannot offer natural man what the natural man already wants and call it salvation. The Bible says that a natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit. Okay? For it is foolishness to him, nor can he know them because they are spiritually discerned. That's 1 Corinthians 2:14. Let's take a look at this video, and I'll be back at the end of it to wrap it up.
Now here, I'm upset about the prosperity gospel because of an article in the Minneapolis Tribune about one of the big churches, 10,000 members, with the pastor having a couple of, a jet and 2 big condos worth $3 million in Florida and real estate everywhere, all over the place, and gets breaks from his church, so he's in trouble with the IRS, and it's just a mess, and I'm really upset about it. Because in the article, one of the leaders was quoted about being the salt, and I just hit the roof. I just went ballistic. What do you think the salt of the earth is? Well, you're the salt of the earth, but how? Let's go to Matthew 5, quick. Matthew 5. I'm going to define for you the salt of the earth in terms of God is the gospel. Because I see that in this text in Matthew 5:11 to 16. Blessed are you when others revile you and persecute you and utter all kinds of evil against you falsely on my account. Rejoice and be glad, for your reward is great in heaven. Now, I believe that the reward there is Christ, God, ultimately. I believe in degrees of rewards in heaven, but ultimately, every reward is leading to God, and He is the final reward. So, because we have an all-satisfying, glorious, final, high treasure called Jesus Christ or the Father in heaven, we can rejoice in the midst of persecution. Rejoice and be glad in that day, for great is your reward in heaven, for so they persecuted the prophets. You're the salt of the earth. Now, what do you think the salt is? If you just let it flow, let it flow. I'll tell you what it's not. Wealth. And here's why. Prosperity gospel is no gospel because what it does is offer to people what they want as natural people. You don't have to be born again to want to be wealthy, and therefore you don't have to be converted to be saved by the prosperity gospel. When you appeal to people to come to Christ on the basis of what they already want, 1 Corinthians 2 makes no sense. The natural man does not receive the things of the Spirit. They are foolishness to him. Therefore, if you offer to people what they do not consider foolishness in the natural man, you're not not preaching the gospel. And the prosperity gospel offers to people what they desperately want as fallen people, gives it to them, and grows huge churches. And we export it to Africa and the Philippines, flying in with our jets, bilking of their money, and going back to our condos worth $3 million. It is horrific what we export as Americans. I can't believe what we tolerate in the church. So I'm on a crusade to crucify the prosperity gospel. I hate the prosperity gospel because I love the glory of God, because the world is simply not going to be impressed with a church that is motivated by what they're motivated by. I mean, come on. This is not rocket science. A church that is motivated by money is just like the world. I don't care if Jesus is the means to get it or whether the stock market is the means to get it. It doesn't matter who's the means to get it. We're driven by the same thing. However, if churches would rise up where it can be said, "Blessed are you when men persecute you and revile you and say all kinds of evil against you falsely. Rejoice in that day and be glad, because God is the gospel. God is the gospel, not money, not health, not family. God is the gospel. You will be the salt of the earth. You will taste so different. You will taste so attractive. Something will lodge in people and they'll say, I hate that and I love that."
Man, that's some good, strong stuff right there, guys. So the prosperity gospel offers what every lost person already naturally wants. And that's to be rich and to have material things. The material things of this life. It doesn't really seem to be too concerned with eternity. But I tell you what, you better be concerned with eternity, because what's 80 or 90 years if we're fortunate enough to live that long compared to eternity, compared to forever? It's nothing. It's just a drop in the bucket. It's a vapor, as Solomon said in the book of Ecclesiastes. It's here one second and gone the next. Look, fact of it is, wrapping this up, they are pushing a false gospel, a false god of money, a false god of material things, a false god. This is straight from the devil himself. Do not be deceived. And look, if you're a true believer, if you're a true Christian, please go out and shout this stuff down. This is wrong. This is live from hell. So guys, thank y'all. God bless. Be sure to be on the lookout for more videos from Broken by the Law, Saved by Grace.